Hello there, Gia.
Hello, Keisha. Did you just get your wings right when you hit the button
Uh,
there?
I did. I just got my wings. Yes, I'm very excited. Um, yeah. Hi, everybody. I was having technical difficulties. I bought another microphone, and apparently, it's already failed me. So I hope this one's
Yeah,
okay. Bear with me. If there's fuzziness or something, I don't know what to do about it. Um,
we'll bear with you. We always do.
you do, don't you, Gia?
Yeah.
Don't you? And I bear with you. I think maybe just as much, if not more. And I don't want to rehash the land of the lost debate.
I think everybody enjoyed remembering the slee stack. So, and I just feel bad for whatever happened in your childhood that your parents didn't let park you in front of the TV every Saturday morning like mine did apparently.
Well,
But
I'm thinking, regardless of where I was parked or what it was in front of, we wound up in the same place here.
oh, here that's true. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So
yeah.
somehow, whatever happened to us, whatever traumas we suffered
Yeah, I think I
or
watched a
avoided.
lot of TV as a kid.
Oh, I watched a ton. I watched a ton of TV. I don't know how I missed these shows, but I think it was deliberate.
I think you were doing educational things on Saturdays or something like.
I don't know. I mean, I did a lot of
Your
reading
parents
too.
probably took you to the zoo or to museums or something, and
Nope, nope.
nope, none of that.
No, we tried church briefly. That didn't work. So yeah, there. I think
Well, that's
no.
actually usually Sundays.
Yeah, but I'm saying like any sort of thing that was supposed to be good for us
Oh,
on the
oh,
weekend. I think they gave that up pretty
they
quickly.
gave it up. We tried church so hard we went every single
So hard.
every Sunday. Oh my God!
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it
exactly.
it took with one of my brothers, but not the other brother and I. We were like, soon as we broke away, we were like,
Yeah.
aha, freedom. Not that I have
Mhm.
any. Actually, like two of my close other girlfriends are serious church going folk, and
Mhm. Mhm.
but you're a heathen like myself. But
Yeah, well, and I don't really join groups very often. I'm kind of a loner, I guess.
you are quite the loner,
You
just
know.
the loner. Um,
Um.
but
Anywho.
I went to church a lot as an adult because whenever I was with my
Mhm.
family, I would go.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like it was still like old home week. You'd go see all
Mhm.
the same people and stuff. But
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd simply for me it was simply a torture, a way to keep me from being with my ponies. You know.
Exactly. You were a young pony girl, so you needed to be with
Yeah, so it
your
was like,
horse.
and
Yeah.
especially like in the winter months, I would like be like
Mhm.
watching the daylight bleed away and like
Uh-huh.
looking at the
Oh.
minister thinking like, "Will you shut up?" You know,
I got to get to my ponies.
got to get out to the barn.
I wish you had stood up and shouted that.
Like, "Will
Your
you
dad
shut
would have
up?"
smacked
Yeah,
you so hard.
that would have been the end of Lawrence. Yeah. But anyway, I it was fun seeing everybody else remember the Slee Stacks. Everybody but you. But
Yeah, yeah. And by everybody, you mean you
yeah,
plus three people. Let's be
yeah,
clear.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I just also want to ask the rest of you people, do you remember Sigmund and the Sea Monster? That was
Uh,
another good one.
uh, I'll let you have one of those every season, okay? That's it. Till like July.
Exciting. Did you watch cartoons? So like those weren't cartoons, those were just, shows, but did you watch cartoon like
Yeah,
the, Looney Tunes and that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I do remember those. Yes, I did watch Bugs Bunny and all that stuff, Gia.
Fractured Fairy Tales?
Yeah, I guess that you're losing me a little bit there, but that sounds sort of.
Boris and Natasha?
Yeah, remember them. Yeah.
All
Uh-huh.
right. So you're not a complete loss.
Thanks. Thank you.
You've been waiting for someone to play that. There you go.
Yeah. Boy, it was worth it. I feel so much better.
Yeah, you feel seen now. You
I
feel
do.
seen.
Yeah. Oh God. So
Anyway, okay. You want to talk about General Hospital? I was saying earlier that I think it was kind of boring these last couple of days.
yeah, I think it was a little boring. And I don't know what I expected as far as the fallout from Christina's actions, but I'm a little disappointed thus far with what we've
Yeah,
seen.
spell out what you spelled out for me earlier about the distinction. Lucky, like we were saying, we were somewhat disappointed in the way Lucky is behaving around this
Yeah.
uh, topic. So spell out this distinction you brought up that I hadn't really thought about, please.
Yeah, and I brought it up just a few minutes ago, but then my mic died, so we decided to just start from the beginning.
Yeah, we
That's
got to do it again.
we don't normally like practice what we're going to talk about clearly.
I know you're going to be shocked, but we don't practice any of this.
Generally we just wing it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I was saying that initially when the accident happened, well, accident, I put that in quotation marks. Lucky had advised Christina to just go back to Charlie's to sort of set up an alibi, kind of, cover her tracks. And that was when he believed Ava was the one in the car. But then once he realized it was Elizabeth and Rick, although really just Elizabeth, his
right.
attitude changed. Yeah, he completely changed his feelings about what Christina had done, and read her the riot act and everything. Of course, like you said, what did you say at that point?
About talking about the flow chart about whether somebody will be missed or not in Port Charles, like.
Well, yeah, we talked about how the criteria, whether or not you should suffer if you've done something to someone, is if they've been missed, then yes, you did something wrong. If nobody's going to miss them, nope, you get off scot-free. That's the rule in Port Charles.
So there's like murder victim flow chart. Will they be missed? And then the arrows go one way or the other way. And
but also Christina, she manipulated Lucky into backing down. Like on the one hand, he wanted her to confess, to turn herself in, and then she helped him decide that who would gain anything from that, right?
Yeah, very manipulative. The whole like, I'm just now, it would crush Molly, it would crush my mother. She's just lost Sam, and all of this. And Lucky should be thinking, this woman is unhinged. And at the very least, if he had said something about there's nobody gains if I turn you in, but you need some therapy. If he had at least extracted some promise that she would get help, because I mean, her mental state is not good.
It's not good. It's not healthy, and she's volatile, right? And
a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Also, I liked his sort of rationale that she'll sort of create her own prison in her mind, her conscience.
If she's anything like him.
If she's anything like him, which implied that maybe he had, done something to innocent people too. Do we know about that, or is that something that's going to come up later?
I don't know. Do you think they were planting a seed there of something he's done? I don't know.
My
memory is so poor that
mine too, and everybody knows that about us. So.
I'm sure he has done all kinds of questionable gray area things that we just don't remember. But but I like things in Africa recently that we wouldn't
exactly. Know. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for punishing yourself. I think most of us who've done even much smaller things have punished ourselves probably much worse than Christina will punish herself, But
yeah, I just don't know if I believe that Christina really is all that
remorseful
or sorry. Like, she's sorry that it wasn't Ava. I don't think I think if it had worked and it was Ava, she wouldn't be in the least bit sorry.
Well, she did try to stop it, right? Once she sort of got a little distance between herself and her actions.
I guess so. I guess so.
I guess, but yeah, like, I mean, seriously, like, who does something that extreme only to like sort of have second thoughts like 5 seconds later? That did all seem kind of crazy. And like you said, she probably could have come around if it had been Ava, and
nobody's gonna miss Ava.
Yeah, yeah, she would have just tamped down.
She also is sort of justifying the idea that, well, Ava is trying to murder my father now.
Right, yeah.
Which she might have a little bit of a point there.
She might have, yeah. Ava was in no hurry to get those pills to Sonny, and she enjoyed that little scene a little too much.
Yeah. I don't know. I was also kind of surprised that the pace of things today, like Rick remembering seeing Christina and then Ava coming in, and they sort of painfully spelled the whole thing out for us a little too hard. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We're not bright and we have poor memories, but I don't think we needed it. I don't think we needed it spelled out quite that clearly, like in all caps. It was like, okay.
Right, not in the same day, that we also figured it out. Right.
Yeah, I mean, and also and now we know there's a camera of showing her cutting the brakes too. Did
they say that? Because maybe I do need that spelled out.
I thought they said something about footage in the garage, but maybe I don't know.
Footage. Okay.
Cruising around doing other stuff today too, but I thought they said something about cameras or
maybe. Well, there was a lot of it was sort of messy, like that they crushed the car already without,
yeah. Was that the same guy at the
it seemed like the same guy, didn't it? I was like, wait a minute, why? First of all, how does he know which car Lucky's talking about?
Lucky didn't say a name or a type of vehicle or
no. And then he said and then he acted like he had to look up the fact that it had been crushed. But if he knew which vehicle it was, wouldn't he have known that one was crushed? I don't know. It was all like, what?
And
what?
Wouldn't he have said something about, oh yeah, so and so already, somebody already came about that car.
Yeah.
You're the second person to have shown.
Right. Yeah. But you think
I like that set though. I like that office space.
Well, that's the main thing then. Yeah, that was convincing.
Yeah,
because it was just like a room.
Well, the old 70s faux wood paneling. It reminded me of offices my dad would have.
When he was in the catfish game.
Well, earlier, when he was a plant manager. Yeah.
Okay.
It was not in the catfish game very long. That's a weird detail that you remembered, huh?
Oh, okay. Well, it was vivid in my mind. And when we say catfish, we don't mean like the type of catfishing that I've endured. We're talking about.
But we're talking about actual
fish.
Yeah. Yeah. No, before that, he worked for an animal feed. Well, that was also dealing with animal feed, but he just worked at animal feed plants. Yeah.
Interesting.
But they'd have a very 70s looking. Of course.
Yeah.
When I say 70s looking, it's because it was the 70s.
That's funny.
So it was just in keeping with the times. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't trying to be retro.
Okay. So, all right. So anyway, but that was all just a weird mess of details and omissions.
What? Yeah, sorry. I was asking the old man to shut the door, please, because
okay.
I'm practically yelling back here. Excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little sloppy, the writing there.
Maybe he was. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, so when Ava was there, the guy went out and discovers that the brakes have been cut.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that trigger a call to law enforcement?
Yeah, that too. All of these things I think we're saying are valid points for a change.
Yeah, rather than brakes are cut. Yep, that's next, right in the crusher. Put her in the crusher.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about this except that
if you were a Maynard, he'd say the crusher. The crusher.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, yeah, they could have tried a little harder there. I think tighten that up a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
all
did
right.
like him. I wouldn't mind seeing him in that
You
office.
want him to become a regular? Like
Yeah.
they'll have occasion to stop by. They should have given him a name at least, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Now, do you think he was a contest winner or
Yeah, that's what I was
stage
gonna say
player?
earlier. Yeah, maybe he won a contest, so they didn't want to push him too hard on hitting his lines.
I'd
Maybe
put
he
him
was supposed to.
yeah, I'd put him on tier with that cop we see kind of
Yeah,
semi-frequently.
yeah. Definitely. I would take him. I think over the Ezra Boyle character. That guy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to like Ezra Boyle, and
No, we're not. We're not. So mission accomplished, sir.
But I'd like to see this guy. Like, I'd like to know more about this guy. Like, does he have a dog?
Is he related to that woman, Eileen, who was killed?
Yeah, Eileen, who was killed. Nobody remembers her. She's off somewhere with Taggart and Austin.
Oh, the land of forgotten characters.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Liesel.
I wouldn't mind just another scene where we see him like unpacking his sack lunch or something.
Yeah. Do you think
what
he
does
has?
He bring for lunch?
Would he have like a big sandwich or like a hoagie?
Or do you think he's got like a little hot plate there and he gets out some steakums or something and Do you remember steakums?
Yeah. I don't think he has that.
Everybody's mother was wild about steakums. I don't know why.
Yeah, then hot pockets and shit like that.
Yeah.
Something else I don't have to prepare, but I can convince myself it's nutritious enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my world.
It's real meat.
Anyway, boy.
Yeah, I don't know why I took a liking to him.
We don't have to unpack that today.
We don't have to examine it, but
no.
There's just something about that blue collar guy.
And I think I liked that he didn't like resist the urge to provide information,
What you mean? You thought he might have been cagey and not?
Yeah, or maybe like he would have been suspicious of them and why they needed to know, but he just seemed like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you.
I'm not paid enough to like.
Yeah, Who knows? You might be the guy who cut the brake lines, and yep, we know it now.
Yeah, we know it, but nobody else is gonna know it because
I'm gonna go ahead and crush that car. Yeah. So you're good, pal. You can do me a favor someday.
We've got a yard full of these things. We've got to get them crushed.
I already took out the stereo and everything. I've got your girlfriend's wallet in my pocket, but don't worry. Crush the car.
She's pretty.
I'll probably visit her at the hospital. Would you mind seeing him visiting Elizabeth at the hospital?
Wouldn't that be funny? Bring this guy in. Anyway, okay. Let's see. Other people, other stuff going on. We got Joss home. We've got Joss home.
Yeah. Oh well, we had the whole you were right. And I'm sure you wanted me to say this. I probably should have led with this.
I was right, wasn't I? Yeah.
It was a test. It was a test, and
the guy's name is Vaughn. They've said it on
Vaughn. So it did have an A-U in it, but it wasn't Austin. It was Vaughn.
Vaughn. Is that like Vaughn?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an interesting name, isn't it? Vaughn.
Vaughn. You like that?
Vaughn. If you're like from the Midwest, you say Vaughn. Like.
Go ahead, say it 3 times. I know you want to.
Click my heels. Vaughn.
One more.
My mouth likes to play with the words. What can I say?
I know. We all know that about you.
Anyway, yeah, so it
Yeah.
was a test, and now she's ready. She's got a job. We'll see her.
Yep, she's back in PC, back in Port Chuck.
Yeah, and we had the I don't know, was it all that heartfelt? The scene between Carly and
Jason and
Jason,
Carla.
where they sort of like,
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Gia. I like the part where he said, I would take a bullet for you, and he just kind of like made that point, like in a few different lines. And I thought, who wouldn't love to have a person in their life like that, who's just
if
steadfast,
somebody said that to me, I'd be like, "You're sketchy. Like, why are we taking bullets? Where are we that we're taking?"
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
like it better if they went, "I would die for you."
that's a good
You.
song. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
We
good
probably just
song.
have to pay royalties now that we sang
I
that.
don't, not the way we did it. Nope.
No. Yeah, no, I guess, but it just seemed like he's all totally like, you can't, I can't deal with you seeing him, and then no, then we'll just we're fine, we're good, we're always good. You're my ride. What is it?
Yeah,
Ride and
ride
die,
or die, ride or die.
ride or die.
Yeah,
Why is it ride
yeah.
or die? We're gonna ride or we're gonna die.
But we already researched
I
this.
know, but what is, I don't. I still don't, it doesn't make sense.
I think it's like, yeah, like sort of partners for life, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know,
Okay,
but
but so
anyway.
you like that. You like that. Do you think we have any hint of romance there again? Because that's what I would like to see. I would like to see that
Yeah,
redevelop.
I know. I don't quite understand how Carly can be so caught up in how Jason feels about her and yet be interested in Brennan. It feels weird that she, needs Jason to be like completely on board and you know, loyal to her, but she's still, shopping around. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's just so, like, I know I said he was like the guy on the $6 million Man, but now today, like, I was thinking he kind of reminds me of Fred Flintstone. I know. I mean, maybe I'm just lost in Saturday mornings, and
I think
that's
so.
where I'm at.
That's your comfort zone, I guess, is Saturday mornings and
There's no sex appeal. There's no
with Jason.
spark.
You mean between
No,
him
Brennan,
and Carly?
Brennan.
Oh, Brennan's like Fred
Yeah,
Flintstone. I thought you meant Jason. Whew.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Okay.
why she's throwing all in with this Brennan guy when she's
Yeah,
got Jason there, and they
yeah.
have
Mhm.
obviously have such strong
Right.
feelings for each other, and maybe
Yeah.
are they agape?
Ooh, I like the use of agape. Yeah.
Agape.
Uh-huh.
I like it on a.
You're saying it like umami. Is that like umami for couples? For people?
Oh, I must have spelled it wrong. I was looking it up. It says like of the mouth wide open, especially with surprise or wonder.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's agape.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, it's spelled the same. Okay, unconditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
right. Well, then there's more different meanings to it, right? There's like 9 different like meanings of agape or something like that.
Are
right?
there? Are there like levels of agape or something?
Or I'm not sure if I'm describing it properly, but yeah, I would say that you could apply
Are you
that.
thinking of the Karma Sutra? Like, is that
No, I don't.
Are you thinking of the ninth circle of hell?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know what that comes from either, but
no.
I was texting with a guy friend, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't come to your gig the other night. Like, I ended up, my wife had a wedding shower for our niece or something like that, and I ended up being at that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, And he was like, but he didn't mean it that way. Like
Uh-huh.
he like had fun apparently, and then I felt bad because I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus, that sounds like the ninth
Can't think of
circle of
anything
hell.
worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think I said something about the ninth circle of hell.
I bet you did. Making friends all over the place,
I know.
Gia.
And then he was like, oh, no, he meant he was like, it was fun. And so he ended up staying, it's like, anyway,
Uh-huh.
I had to backtrack. And
Sure. I would have liked to have seen that. What did that sound like?
well, we were just texting, so it was just the sound of the little typing,
Oh God.
Okay, we're lost.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're lost.
so
Yeah.
you liked the Jason ride or die kind of thing. Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
do, but I'm sort of tired of seeing them tear up with each other over that with no further development.
Yeah, I know. I don't quite understand that either because I was thinking while that was all happening, I was thinking, so there's nothing here. I mean, what are we doing here? You know?
Well,
Um,
speaking of Jason, let me ask you. I
mhm.
think in our one of our final scenes today was Jason and
And
Anna.
Anna, yeah, and they were acting like maybe that was gonna become something again, weren't they?
Okay, so that wasn't just the vibe I got. Like that was really
No,
there.
right, right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do with all of this because it did seem like there's stuff that's unsaid between them, you know?
Yeah. And so now they got to keep their friendship a secret. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'd like to have seen more of their friendship before they decided to like.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I believe they're saying they're friends. I believe they're friends, but I would have liked to have seen more. Like we know that Carly and Jason are friends because we saw them for years and years
Yeah, yeah,
playing
right.
pool and drinking beer and
Mhm.
sleeping with each other and
Mhm. Yeah.
pretending that Michael was his child and like.
Mhm.
But we haven't really seen Anna and Jason just hang. Haven't had a good hang with them, have we?
Not really. No, I mean we've seen him sort of allow her to help Valentine, which doesn't really cement their friendship very much, you know, but like not we haven't seen them sort of doing stuff like to
Get
help each
coffee.
right, right. Or just to help each other more, you know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I guess
Or
we've seen them collaborate in sort of law enforcement and crime
mhm.
and that kind
Mhm.
of stuff, and allow each other to bend the law and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I believe Jason when he says, you know, if you have enough to bring charges against me, do it. You know, do what you need to do. Like I believe that he thinks that, you know, he doesn't want to stand in the way of her and what she needs to do to be true to herself.
Yeah,
But I was
yeah,
also thinking just now, like I feel like I still have a much more vivid idea of Jason and Robin's friendship, which we haven't seen in
yeah.
years. You know,
Years,
that's
right?
still
Yeah.
like fresh in my mind, you know. Um,
Yeah, because we saw them be much more personal, obviously.
yeah, yeah, they went
But
through so
yeah,
much.
I would have liked to have seen like Anna and Jason like laughing over some stuff and like just
Hmm.
actually being friends.
Yeah, I mean, because we've seen as
Um,
much time spent between them with her being in total cop mode, right?
yeah,
And
being kind of a jerk with him.
yeah, yeah. So
So
yeah.
I'm on board with this idea of the secret friendship of Jason and
Mhm.
Anna, and I will
Mhm.
go with it. And I like to see it unfold, but I'd kind of like just more time with them.
Yeah, just talking would be cool.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
what kinds of things do they share?
Mhm.
What's in
Mhm.
common with them? And
Mhm. Yeah,
why
I
are
would
they
even
friends? Why are
yeah.
we friends? Why is anybody friends?
Let's not pull that thread. Um,
I
but
think
I would
we're friends because you went and got a haircut with me, no questions asked, like
yeah,
the
yeah,
first day we met or something. And
yeah.
I was like, I feel like getting a haircut. And you're like, all right. And like, who does that? I don't think we both got all our hair cut off that day, but it was
No,
it was a
but
spur of the moment thing. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, she's all
yeah.
right.
Mhm.
She's impulsive. I like that.
Yep, yep. But it's just hair.
Yeah.
Um, and we had worse haircuts after that.
So
Um,
many.
Yeah. But
Frequently
not
together.
often together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was thinking, like, if we did see Jason and Anna talking, like, I would love to hear them explain to each other more, like, their feelings, like Jason and Carly's relationship. I would love to hear him talk about, like, how he worked through whatever they had that was going to lead them to getting married, and then what they have now that he's okay that that's past, and she's, would he be okay with her being with somebody else that wasn't dangerous, or does he still have feelings? And also Anna and Valentine, like, what's her
Right,
feeling,
that's true. They could both be talking about their recent
Yeah.
relationships, and yeah, I know, and I feel like Jason. He needs a sounding board. I mean, at the moment,
Yeah.
he's just everybody else's knight in shining armor, and there's
Mhm.
nothing for Jason.
Yeah,
Like
right.
if I were him, I'd be ready for my head to pop off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He needs to sort of unload all of that stuff he's got in his head. And I was thinking he has one more thing that's just the seed has just been planted. Um, when they were talking about Easter Island, Joss
Oh
and
yeah,
Carly and
yeah,
Jason, and he'd been there. I feel like he would have read something in Joss's language or her eyes or even just the pictures that would have felt off to him, because you know how he has that lie detector, that built-in lie detector.
yeah. So do you think he's going to be the one that's going to figure out that Brennan has recruited Carly's daughter, and then try to break it to Carly, and Carly won't believe it, and
Well, I don't know if he'll
is
try to
that
break it to Carl. I think he's definitely probably gonna definitely probably. I believe he will be the one to figure out that Joss was at least lying about that trip, and I feel like he would be the obvious one for her to confide in,
Yeah, yep, yeah.
because he does tend to be a vault,
He's
you know.
everything. He'll put everything in the vault. Yeah,
Yeah, although knowing how he feels about Brennan and her mom, maybe she, would realize that that wouldn't be necessarily safe, information with him. I
yeah,
don't know, but I would love to have those conversations between Joss and Jason, kind of, and see,
yeah.
like,
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
you
Yeah.
know. And I'd like her
Um,
to have somebody she could talk to who was outside of the WSB, you
he
know.
had a stupid line when she said, "When was that? When were you on
Yeah.
Easter Island?" And he said, "What did he
When
say? It was during my
in
time
my
away
time
from
away.
hotels."
Yeah. Well,
Well,
duh.
like sort of by definition, it would
Yeah.
have had to have been away from.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
It would have been funny if she'd said like, "Oh, I didn't see you didn't post any of that on your Instagram."
Yeah. Right.
Imagine Jason's Instagram, just black t-shirt.
I can't. I can't imagine what that would be.
What is there? They have like a Facebook. What do they haven't referred to it in a long time, but what do they call it? They call it
Him and
Face Page or something, or
or yeah, my face or something like that.
yeah, I think they call it My Face. Equally stupid. I mean, Facebook
Yeah.
is stupid too, but it sounds.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, their search engine. What do they have? Spider or something
Oh
like
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
that?
Uh-huh. I don't know why
So,
they silliness, but yeah. So anyway, there was that whole little
and
scene
that's
there.
kind of interesting. That's a little bit interesting. So I take it
Mhm.
back. I wasn't completely bored, but
No, but I guess yeah, it wasn't really anything that was, I don't know,
but I tell you,
fantastic.
one thing that's tiresome is I'm glad they're doing the nurses' ball, but the Lucy going around and
Yeah,
you know
recruiting everybody.
recruiting
Yeah,
everybody is very tiresome,
it
and it's
is.
the same every time, and it's like, oh
Every time people don't want to do it, and then they wind up doing it. It's like, why don't you just fucking say yes?
yeah, because you're gonna
Yeah,
anyway.
you
Yeah.
know. So, anywho, yeah, yeah.
So that's a little tiresome.
Mhm.
What about Kai and Trina? Did you feel any more chemistry there or less chemistry?
Um, I thought. I mean, I think they're doing sort of a pretty good job with their lines, but I'm still not feeling that much. Maybe it's just because it's still early stages and still pretty wholesome. Um, I was worried that Trina was gonna have a difficult time navigating how to react to this news about this potential surgery. You know?
Yeah, and she was having big reactions, but then they just got to snogging and
Yeah, I guess that's
forgot all about it. And maybe that's
mhm.
accurate for kids that age.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But it does seem like she's gonna have a hard time accepting that Drew could have good intentions,
Good
pure
intentions,
intentions, you
right?
know.
Yeah.
And
And
that this is like the one doctor who's done this procedure. That does sound a little,
yeah,
like a
too good to be true. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
You
I
think?
kind of sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I sort of liked Curtis's conversation with Drew about that. I guess
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I like that Curtis is Curtis holds his ground now. He just seems like a more
Yeah. Mhm.
interesting character lately.
Yeah. Mhm.
And at least they're referencing the fact that he spent time in a wheelchair, and that whole
Right.
at
Right.
least they're using that. And
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, that storyline was like over in a blink of an eye, but
It was. Yeah.
at least they
And
haven't buried it or forgotten it. Whoever's writing now.
true. That's true. Yeah. It would be almost more interesting if he was still in a wheelchair, and having to like be like proof to Kai that things can go wrong with experimental surgeries.
Oh
But I guess
yeah, that would be. Yeah, yeah. Did you have like a whole herd of angels come through your house?
it's a phone call. Sorry about that. Um,
Interesting ring.
spam is that? That's what that ring is.
Oh, that's a spam ring. It's so pretty.
It is pretty.
Beautiful.
I think that's just like the default ringer on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so I don't know what's going to happen with this surgery, but you can see Kai's excitement, and you can understand, I guess, why he would suddenly be wanting to like go
Oh
all
my
in with this
gosh, yeah,
idea.
yeah. Especially at that age, you'd be
Yeah,
so like your
yeah,
whole identity was wrapped up in
yeah.
being this big time football star and
Yeah, and people are still treating him like that, like Lucy
right.
and Drew, of course. I mean, but
Yeah.
everybody's sort of acting like that's who he is the big celebrity football
Yeah.
player.
Which I
So,
was so far removed from that kind of stuff in high school, like in college.
hmm
I think there was a football team at that point.
At
But
Denison? Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, is it accurate that you're that big a celebrity to
Um,
people outside? Like all these other adults that are acting like they know who he is and stuff. Is that
I
accurate?
guess it would be at your big schools, your like
Yeah,
the colleges that have their games on TV, but that's
that's
that's a
true. Yeah, those
small
they
group
do
of
put those
people.
on TV, don't
Yeah, they do. So yeah, there would be they do, Gia. College football is a thing.
I'm so
Oh
I'm
dear.
not very sporty. I do watch some basketball,
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
but I don't think I probably would if the husband weren't into it.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah,
I
I'm
know.
sure that.
Although my mother, for some odd
Oh, that's
reason,
right.
was
Your mom liked the
so
Memphis
into
Grizzlies, didn't
basketball.
she? Yeah.
She liked the Grizzlies. She liked the Tigers. She was like, yeah, she was wild about the basketball in that area. I don't
Oh,
know
that's
what that was.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And she liked football too, actually, but that was just kind
Yeah.
of I mean, I don't remember her being a fanatic about it, but she
hmm
wouldn't. She kind of knew what was going on, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, can somebody give me a ride to the barn, please?
Oh man.
It's the
That's funny.
only thing that mattered to teenage me, really.
Yeah, the pony. Gosh.
Yeah, I had it
Huh.
bad.
Mhm.
Anyway, what else did we have happen in the last couple of days? We had some Sasha stuff, right? Sasha and Jason, or was
No,
that earlier?
Yeah, that was early, and that yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was thinking, all right, so if Jason and Anna are going to be hanging out,
Oh
what does
yeah,
that
that'll
mean
be a
for
little
him and
awkward. Yeah.
Sasha? Are they a thing? And also, is he going to? He wouldn't confide in Anna about that arrangement, would he? Because he's so
I don't think so. I mean, he's better about not spilling info than anybody
than
else.
anybody else. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if Anna's would be thinking that he and Sasha have some sort of a relationship. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Seems like everybody would be okay with believing that was a one nighter.
Yeah, even though that's not really Jason, that's not his MO at all, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't he needs a love interest now, right? It's been a while.
it has in a while, yeah. So yeah, I think he's it would be nice to have him in a relationship.
Yeah.
Um,
So anyway,
yeah.
I'm on board with the exploring the Anna thing. I think that could be
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
She's a
Well, did we
little bit
talk?
older, but it's not out of the realm of like
Right.
of feasible, attraction, I don't think. I think
I don't.
it's
Yeah, I agree. Although it is weird if you think he was involved with Robin, and now he could potentially be involved with her mom.
yeah, well, we have that a lot. It's a soap opera.
It's a
I
soap
mean,
opera. Yeah, it would be weird, I guess, if he
Drew is just
hadn't
bumping
made the
uglies
move.
with a mother
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Point taken. Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
yeah.
one thing I liked going back to Lucas. Who was he talking to? Elizabeth, and they were talking about Rick and Ava. I liked how
Yeah.
he said that like both Ava and Rick are seem very comfortable living in the gray area. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
I didn't so much like Elizabeth saying that if Rick was
Oh,
more
I know. Yeah, that was a little shocking, wasn't
like
it?
what? Like are you not completely in love with Lucky right
I know.
now?
Lucky's over there calling her the love of his life, and she's like, "Well, if Rick were just a little more." Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
"What?" Yeah, that
that
was a little
wasn't
weird.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not cool, Liz.
not
Not
cool.
cool.
Mm-mm. No, no.
Do you think I'm comfortable in the gray area?
I think I think you're uncomfortable in the gray area, which is unfortunate because you're
Because
in the
that's where I
gray area.
am. Because that's where I always stand.
I don't know. Are you in the gray area
I
very
don't
often?
know. I don't know. I don't know what to
I don't
think
know if
about that.
our lives have as much of a gray area as a soap opera characters.
I feel like I'm in a gray area when I don't recycle styrofoam.
Oh, yeah, definitely you
It's
are.
like
Yeah.
moral things like that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But like Lucky, I torment myself when I
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
throw
Yeah.
something out that I think could have been recycled.
Mhm. Yeah, well, as you should, Gia.
Yeah. Sure, you don't let it bother you, but
I shake it right off. Oh no, I'm always like fuming because the kid goes through a lot of Ziploc bags, and I don't know why she can't reuse them.
oh well, there is a. I mean, you don't want like bacteria growing in them and stuff. It depends on what you've done with them.
Not much. It's just is that a good
I mean,
enough
I don't.
answer?
We I like try to rinse things out or whatever, turn them inside out. But at a certain
Mhm.
point, I think you're risking foodborne illness possibly.
Well,
Like
I'm
the old
willing to
man
take
will
that chance.
store. Well, are you storing like raw meat and things in them? You don't want to.
No, no, like
Okay. Yeah.
candy. Like she'll store like wrapped candy in one, and then like
Oh. Okay.
so there's
Yeah.
nothing that's gonna rub against the bag.
I see. All right, and then tosses them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Hmm.
right. Well,
Anyway,
yeah. I can see your fury there. I think that's
thanks.
justified.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. I needed some validation because I think perhaps my fury is sort of out of line with the actual
I
crime. Are you there, Gia? You bounced off. Gia? Come back to me, Gia. Can't hear you, Gia. Oh well, everybody. maybe we'll just maybe we'll just wrap this one up since it's been going downhill, I guess, frankly, for the last few minutes, and we seem to have audio issues today. I'm not sure why, um, but thank you very, very much for listening. I thank you, Gia. Thanks you. I'm even going to thank the people who watch Land of the Lost like Gia does, because that's kind of you, and she needs that sort of support. So we'll see you next time. We'll see you on Thursday. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.